Alrighty guys, welcome back to another amazing adventures on the hot rails of the DQD Railroad owned by you know who the railroad is owned by, Patriot Rail. So further here to do, guys. Alrighty guys, I'll tell you the first part of the story right quick. My friends are just leaving out right now. I wanted to come here to Valliant and catch them coming in and catch my friends with the KRR, but I didn't do it. But I'll catch them leaving out. They got to switch for Greg's and Hubert's tonight, and so I think it's best for me to film them right here. So further ado, guys. Okay. My friends on the railroad, they own this property right here. They own 30 feet of this. That semi right there is on that side of the 30 feet of the property of the railroad. But my friend on the police force, he says they own the property to the tracks, which they don't. So further here to do, guys, let's get back to the video. Here they come. guys, I'm about to head home, get me some sleep, and hopefully get me some grub later on in the morning time. Alrighty guys, what am I talking about? Okay, let me shine a light back there for you guys. The Valliant cop, I think the Valliant cop needs to do his little bit of research about railroad property, how much they own, because technically he don't know how much the railroad owns and how much these people own. The railroad owns 30 feet of this, and if they do own that, then that is property stealing, and the government won't like that. See guys, he's saying that this people right there own right there to the tracks, right? Well, this is technically the railroad's fence. You currently see right where I'm pointing at. If it's their fence, they would have to do maintenance on it, and they don't have their lock. They don't have the keys for this here. They go out through that way. But right there where that truck sits, that's where the property line, that's the property line where the railroad, that's the property line where the railroad is. See, because this road goes all the way back there on the north pass there, and that truck is right past the right here where my friends come out of there at. They come right through here. This is because technically this is railroad property right here. Basically where I'm actually at, technically this is railroad property. So he stopped me again. Oh, my light's going out. He stopped me again, but technically this is railroad property. Technically he can't tell me what I can and can't do on railroad property in to begin with. My friends never called. See, he told me my friends called him, but they never did call him, and neither did my friends inside of the cab of that locomotive. Neither of my friends working that base back yonder, because they were all out in the back, working the train, and then they saw me up here in the front. So what I might have to do is, if that's the case, but I know the railroad owns 30 feet right here. The railroad owns between right there where the railroad is, right there where the tracks are, all the way to right there. The railroad owns it from right there where that road is, because technically the railroad owns this road here. But you know what? For safe measures, I'm going to ask the people of this place here I want to ask and see if they would let me walk on their part of their place here, if that's the case. But I know the railroad owns this road right here. They do, because technically where that truck sits, that's railroad property. Because between right there where the rock is and right over this road is, this is railroad property. So I mean, the Valliant cop needs to do research on that. Because technically my friends on the railroad says he does need to do research on that, because technically the railroad owns this road right here, and technically if those people are stealing property, if the government gets a hold of them stealing property, those people can get in trouble for stealing land, and there's a penalty of doing that. So because technically I don't see that. But I think the Valliant cop needs to do research on that. And then he told me because I'm wearing a reflective vest, the railroad can't see me. If that's true, then why is the railroad wearing a reflective vest and have headlamps and stuff like this? So he does need to do a little bit of research. But mostly, guys, if you're going to come through Valliant, Oklahoma, do speed limit so you don't get a ticket like me, because I got to pay off this ticket, or at least adduce it, because it's my first time coming through there. Because I didn't know I was doing 50 miles an hour. I thought I was doing 35 until I looked at my speedometer meter, and then I was starting to drop down, and then he came up behind me, came up behind me, like at nighttime, like somebody, and I couldn't see him. All because I couldn't see him because he was about right here. He was about right here, and I didn't know who was behind me. And he kind of creeped me out, and I didn't know who he was. I kind of thought, I didn't know who it was, so I was trying to get away from him. And then after he flickered his lights, I know exactly who it was. But technically, he should have flashed his lights at me first. He should have flashed his lights, not after. Because he turned his lights on after he pegged me whenever he passed in Pine Creek Road, because he pulled out one of those side roads when I was slowing down. But it don't matter. I'll have to pay for it, or I might have to have it produced, because it is my first time. But whatever, he's just doing his job, so I want to listen to him if I can. But technically, he does need to do research on railroad property in the beginning, because technically the railroad owns this gate right here, and they do own this road right here. And then where that semi sets, that's where the property is for the railroad and their stuff right there. So whatever. Because I know my research on this, because this here is railroad property, and this road right here is railroad property. But when you get into right there, when you get into where their trucks are, yeah, that is their property. But this road right here is railroad property. But you know what? I'll ask the people anyways and see what they say about it. And so I will ask them about it. And that, my friends, they don't like him as much. So if anybody watching this, it might work on the Valliant Police Department or anything like that, that sort. I mean, I love what they do, but sometimes cops need to do their research about railroad property. And technically, basically the Valliant cop can't tell me I can't be where I can't stand on railroad property, because the Valliant cop has no jurisdiction on railroad property whatsoever. City ordinance does not affect railroad property. It don't. But further here to do, guys, don't worry about that. If you ever have that problem with the PD officer, don't forget to ask his name. His name is Skylar. I got his name. His name is Skylar Clarity. So I got it saved. So I thought it was Terry. So whatever. So my friends knew I was out here. They knew it and all that tough stuff. They don't mind. But I think the Valliant cop needs to do research about railroad property and stuff like that, because he don't know anything about trains like I do. And technically, this is the only way to get back there to the North Pass. There's no way in and out of here. But I'm about to get out of here, guys. It's night. It's dark 30, so I'm ready to head home. And so I better get out of town right now, because what's the reason? No, nothing, because I want to go home. So, for today, guys, be safe out there on the hot iron, known as the hot rails. Be careful. Don't be speeding. If you do, you better have a very good reason to get out of a speeding ticket, or at least a warning. But warnings are better versus that. But technically, if you're going to pass through Valliant, always do speed limit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're out or not. You should always view them as they're out anyway. So it's my first time for everything. So I got my first time at it. So just don't. It's just donut. So, because technically it's my first time, I don't know how much my speeding ticket is. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh, this is what the Valliant cop will give you. Right here, he'll give you a speeding ticket. And it's my first time. I mean, my first time, you know. It says here I show up May the 12th, 2020 at 5 o'clock at City Hall. So here. So I was doing 50 and a 35. So I didn't know who it was behind me. So I was trying to get away because I didn't know who the guy was. And then until he flashed his lights on, it was a cop. Because technically at night, because technically there is road rage people out there, guys. They do come up behind you and stuff like that. And so I didn't know who it was, and he was right up behind me, like I said before. So don't let this happen to you, and just be safe out there. I gotta show up to City Hall. My mom called it a dang fine. Sorry about that. Sorry about the language about that, guys. I'm a little bit upset at that because technically that is my first time for everything, but you know what? It'll be the last time. I'll do 30. I do 30 when I'm coming through town. I mean, because technically at night I didn't know who he was. Because I didn't know who it was exactly. So, because he was right behind my tail where I couldn't see his grill or nothing, and so what he was doing is he was checking and see if everything was up to date, up to par, and stuff like that. But whatever. It's still technically a cop should not be doing it. Technically, cops should not be being behind you and pacing you like that, because if somebody, what's kind of say if a pedestrian, like a kid, just pull, or like a dog pulled out in front of me, and I didn't want to kill it or anything like that, and you know, that type of thing.